Today I want to revisit Proverbs 10:19, where it says, "In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise." I'm a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, a teacher, and a pastor. And through all these years, I've worked with all ages. And each one of them is very unique. Sometimes challenging, many times rewarding. But I have found there's no size that fits all. But there are principles whereby we can be effective in the lives of other people. I think this morning, especially of teenagers, but it's more than just that. Let's take a look and think about this verse once again. It dictates to us one of the principles that we need to be effective, and that is to have restraint in our speech. Another principle I have found in working with young people especially is that we must be steadfast in our beliefs and our actions. They're looking for consistency. At one point, I had 5 teenagers in my house. I've been asked on a few occasions, how did I do it? My answer's always been that I win all the conflicts. In other words, I needed to know where I stood and not deviated. They needed a solid rock. They didn't always like it, but that was the need in their life. However, the 2 principles as I mentioned previously, having restraint of speech was a very difficult lesson for me to learn. Ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why a grandparent can be so cherished by a grandchild? Could it be they have learned the art of listening more than speaking? Could it be that they have learned to have soft answers that turn away wrath? Could it be there's some things that have come in their lives that they've learned? You know, there must be limits established and maintained. But to listen to a child or a teen can help us to understand their perception. Many times, they simply need to be instructed on how to perceive things from a godly point of view rather than receiving severity and discipline. In other words, when we confront them, we need to listen to them. If our confrontation is in a soft manner, their answer will be in a soft manner. If we approach them in a harsh manner, we'll probably get it back in a harsh manner. So it's good for us to understand that principle. Now there's a difference, I believe, between making a mistake and rebellion. Rebellion most likely requires harsh discipline. They have rebelled against authority. That was our problem in the Garden of Eden. It's our problem as we go through life. But there are a lot of things that are just simply mistakes. That we didn't intend on doing it wrong. We didn't intend on hurting somebody. But it needs to be corrected out of love. For instance, we don't want our children spilling milk, but they're going to. Should we severely punish them because they spilled a glass of milk? Because they're small and they don't have as much control on their little bodies and things. By the way, they see it from a different point of view than we do on a table. And so we need to correct those kinds of mistakes, not harshly, but after finding out their point of view. How do you do that? Listen to them. I have found that if I'm willing to listen to the reasoning without constant interruption, they're willing to listen to me. Not just merely hear me, but to listen. There is a difference. I believe that when I am able to do that, it tells them that I believe they are worth my time. And that's very critical. Again, that doesn't mean we go soft on them, but you can approach things in a soft enough way that they will accept it. A child will accept discipline if it's out of a heart that they know is caring for them. and seeking for the right. I remember years ago, we had a preacher here, and I thought, man, he's a tremendous preacher. He preached right down the line, and he did. But afterwards, I found out that my boys didn't care for his preaching. And after talking to them, I found out the reason. They didn't see him as one who cared about them, one who just wanted to point a finger and holler at them. And I never stopped to think about that before. But I was able to stop and listen to that. It taught me something. Listen, we need to listen to our subordinates. We need to learn that. I say subordinates, those who are under our watch care, particularly our children and our teenagers at a point in their life when many times we still see them as a little child and don't realize that they are young adults. Now I understand they're not mature adults, but at the same time, we need to treat them as real people in a sense that was different than when they were a little child, and help them through many of the obstacles and things of life. So what am I trying to say? Well, the Bible said, in the multitude of words, there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. We talk too much, there's going to be sin. But when we're able to stop and to listen and use some wisdom, we can be of help and guidance to those that God has given to us. I trust this is helpful today, and that God might bless you in your home and your business and all the affairs of life. And we'll give God thanks for it. In His name, we would just have to pray. Amen.